You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, political analyst Roland Simbulan. Professor Simbulan, welcome to The Source. Maraming salamat din po sa inyong oras. Let me already ask the first question. I hope you don't mind, no? I want to go back to the latest Pulse Asia survey wherein BBM ranked second next to Mayor Sara Duterte. Can you tell us, what is your analysis why the former senator is ranking well in that particular survey?
Well, I think that the high ranking of Bongbong Marcos in the recent surveys is because of the painstaking work that they have done to utilize social media, no, including professionals, no, in the new media, especially like referring to public relations firms, both local and foreign, so that they can prepare very well this time in the 2022 presidential elections. I was not surprised, by the way, that Bongbong Marcos decided to run, no, and file his candidacy, because this is what they have been gunning for. Even before the 2016 presidential elections, because I think when he ran for vice president at that time, he was already gunning for aiming for the 2022 presidential elections.
It was all planned. Hopefully, had he won rather in 2016, the next step would have been to run for president in 2022, and obviously have that particular advantage being vice president. So you expected this, and then you're talking about why he's faring well. But would you say because of the amount of PR, social media that they have implemented, that this is actually a clear indication that, you know, the Filipino people, a majority of them, or not a majority, maybe a percentage of them, truly believe that he will be a good president? And I put this in the context, Professor, of Supreme Court rulings, Sandigan Bayan rulings against the Marcoses.
Well, remember, Pinky, the Marcoses still have at their disposal, no, the unrecovered amount of ill-gotten wealth, of which 4 billion, an equivalent of $4 billion in terms of cash and jewelry and assets, have been recovered by the PCGG. And if the estimate of 10 billion of ill-gotten wealth, according to Transparency International and even the Guinness Book of World Records is correct, there is still a balance of $6 billion in unrecovered wealth, which makes them actually the richest family in the Philippines, no, far richer than the tycoons, no, like the Xi family, the Lushotan family, and so forth, no. And based on interest alone, if that amount of 6 billion still unrecovered funds are to be utilized, no, in these coming elections, I think they believe that they can have a good chance of winning. However, I would like to say that in the 2016 elections, when Bongbong Marcos tried to run for the vice presidency, he could not, in fact, believe that he still lost, no, because despite the resources that they had, he still lost to virtually a newcomer in Philippine politics, who ran for vice president in the person of Leni Robredo. Well, usually, as some have already said, no, some people have already said, were close watchers of public opinion polls. This early, the results of polls are not accurate or cannot be relied on. No? They're just an indicator for certain candidates to work on.
Yeah. Sabi nga nila, Professor, those who actually fare well or top the earlier surveys are the ones who historically have not actually won when election day came. We need to just take a very short break, Professor. The Source will be right back. Our guest today, political analyst Roland Simbulan. Professor, let's just put this scenario hypothetically. Vice President Leni Robredo decides to run for president. Announcement, of course, will be made tomorrow. We don't know what that is, but hypothetically she runs. Even if people think this is a round two of a Robredo Marcos contest again, it really isn't, right? Because there's a possibility of a Mayor Sara Duterte, and then you already have Senator Pacquiao. You already have Senator Ping Lacson and Mayor Isko Moreno. How do you think this will play out in the end? Just trying to analyze numbers and possible contenders, additional contenders, such as the Vice President Leni Robredo and Mayor Sara Duterte.
Well, most of the presidential candidates are banking on the plurality of votes, because it's not anymore a two-way fight. No, in this kind of contest where you have several presidential candidates, well, at least 5 or more, no, running. No, it will be a plurality of votes, as what happened in the past presidential elections, and most especially during the 1992 elections, where the former president Ramos got around was it 25% only of the total votes. So they're banking on that, because each of the presidential candidates hopes that the opponent's votes will be sliced by its competitors, so that they would have a better chance even of winning by a very small margin. So it works. It will work both ways, both for the administration candidates or pro-administration candidates and the opposition.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was also looking into the 1992 elections, wherein you had 5 or 6 candidates, also very strong candidates running back then. I remember one of the personalities that was hoping to get the endorsement then, former President Cory Aquino, was the late House Speaker Mitra, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm getting my history right. But she gave her endorsement to FVR. But of course, there were other candidates there. As a last question, with let's say an FVR back in 1992 of 25% of the votes, if something like that happens this time around because of the number of candidates running, is this going to be good or bad for the country?
Well, I predict that if the winner of the 2022 elections will be coming from the administration, or a fully backed administration candidate, or Bongbong Marcos himself, I think it will not be good for the country. No, it will divide the country more.
All right. So thank you then, Professor Roland Simbulan. It's good speaking to you and seeing you again. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you for having me.
And CNN Philippines is also reaching out to the Marcos camp for a possible interview on this issue, but they have yet to respond. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.